Hello, good morning, YouTube. Yeah, I'm here kind of pondering masks that we wear in life. What walls and barriers do we put up to truly being who we are? That I'm looking at in my life. Attachments are things that we kind of cling on to in the hope that they're going to rescue us, they're going to save us in some way. They also are a way of denying truth. They're a way of keeping us from being our true self. And really, honestly, the way that we cling to things is it's kind of like the worst trap in this life, the worst way to it's the way that we look at ourselves, the way that we see ourselves from the outside. We see ourselves as a human being, as a person, as a body. And then that is kind of like the ultimate way of being, when actually this is just like just a tiny piece that we see. And the way that we keep ourselves trapped in that is by only sticking to that thing, only looking at what it is that is who we think we are. And we do that through our perceptions of things. We do that through what we see with our physical eyes. We do it in so many ways. And I've been looking at the things that just little things that I cling on to just in everyday life, just to kind of allow myself to then approach maybe the bigger things, like loss, like death, like who am I? Those things that we constantly brush under the carpet. So we don't have to think about how we actually in our own life contribute to the taking responsibility for the world's problems, and how much that each individual actually contributes to the world's problems through denial of the true self, of the part of you which is basically what you are, that is love. And so just want to talk a little bit about these masks, just on a really superficial level. My mask, the main mask that I wear every day, is my face makeup. And only in the last few days I've just started to question this. What is it that makes me want to wear makeup every day? One of the reasons why I started wearing makeup every day is because my skin on my face is really red, and sometimes really spotty as well. And I just got so fed up with it that I tried to sort of cover it up. But then I started to think recently, well, if I'm looking at the greater issues, like really, what is it that I'm losing? When someone dies, for example, that's a huge issue for me in terms of loss. What is it that gets lost? Then surely I can approach something like makeup with a little bit more ease, because it's but I've turned it into a big thing. I've turned it into a thing about, well, if I don't wear makeup, it's what makes me attractive. And if you take it back to its original source, so for example, I don't wear makeup. If I don't wear makeup, then my skin's going to look red and people are going to notice that, and I don't want people to think that I have or that I don't care about how I look. But more than that, the thing that I mainly notice is the fact that I think it makes me look unattractive. And so what do I want to attract? Do I want to attract someone who cares about whether my skin looks red or not? Or do the type of people that I want to attract are people who only care about what it is that makes me me, and then what is it that makes me me? Is it my skin? Is it my body? Is it the things that I do? Is it what I do? Is it my art? Is it the fact that I'm a mother? All these things that create the world that we see are not the truth about who we are. And our body ultimately is the biggest mask that we could ever have created, because it is, as you look at it, it is like a separate droplet of rain, and because we see it as being separate, we see it as being a limitation. So it's almost like a brick wall. It's I have my body and you have your body, and therefore we must be separate beings, surely, because I have this wall around who I think I am, that creates the perception that is who I am. I am my body. I am this skin that I don't like. I am, my hair, I have it this long because I like it like that. It makes me look more feminine. Maybe it makes me look more attractive to men. I don't know. Why do I have these masks? And these types of things, I'm sitting there in meditation, and throughout the day as well, actually, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, not analysing. Analysing is noticing what you think is the truth, and then pulling it apart and trying to say from your own mind, the mind that is the one that controls you, is the controller of you on a moment-to-moment basis. You're using that to decide whether you think something is true about yourself or not. So using the same trap to decide what is true in your life. So it's getting out of the habit of using this same device, because that's what it is. It's basically a device that we use so that we stay trapped in this body. It's not actually a trap. The trap is our mind, how our mind works. The body is actually, you can see the body as just a really useful tool. While I'm here, I have a body. And if my only purpose here is to be the presence of love, which is what I truly am, then I can use my body to be that presence. And the way that I'm doing that for myself, because if I can't do that for myself, then I cannot do it for my daughter. I cannot do it for my husband. I can't do it for anyone else. So starting with the small things first. But actually, hair and makeup is a really, really big identity aspect of the identity for lots of women. And so it's one of those really good, it's like an anchor that keeps you trapped in that idea of what is woman, what is feminine, what is attractive, what is beauty. And is that surface quality of beauty that we see when we see an attractive person, is that love? Because when love comes through, I know when I'm feeling loving and I really love something, or I really love someone, I really love them, that quality of God, of life, of who we are, really comes through me, and I emanate that quality, I exude that quality. Yeah, and really that's all I want to do anymore, is just be that and experience that. And if I want to experience the totality of my true self, I want to look at the obstacles that preventing me from being that true self. I'm just gonna move my chair up a little bit because I feel a bit low down. That's better. Yeah, my true self. What is that? Is it when I'm being given attention? Is it what people like about me when I go on Facebook or on YouTube? Is that the true me? What people see, what other people see, is that the true me? Or is the true me coming through me in every moment and being this quality of the things in life that I love? I can sit here and I can feel the presence of love surrounding me, and I can just breathe that in. and bathe myself in that quality that's always with me all the time. And that quality of love is what I want to bring to everything and everyone. And the more that I do that, the more that I get my sledgehammer and crash, break down, knock the walls down, knock the pillars of the ego down, but make it sound violent, like it's got to kill the ego. But what happens is that you see that it's not true. You see that it's an illusion, and already so many illusions have been shattered. The idea that I have to create anything, that it's me creating. It's not me creating. I see it happening. I see myself just be guided and breathe and connect with source, and I see that I have an image pop into my head, and I see what I'm supposed to do, and then I go ahead and I do it. And when I go ahead and do that, when I follow that guidance, everything seems to fall into place magically. And this quality that we're so afraid of, can we tune into that more by looking at those things that stop us from doing that? Another mask is pretending that things are okay when they're not. This is a universal mask in life, isn't it? That we literally always say, yeah, I'm fine. When clearly I'm not fine. I'm sitting here by my bed and I'm crying my eyes out because there's so many things that I realize that I've been doing to myself that I haven't realized before, until I actually really chose to knuckle down and do the work, take responsibility completely for everything that comes through me. As soon as you do that, there's no going back. You can't just let God in and then go, oh no, sorry, I changed my mind. Yeah. So the little things that you do, even doing meditation every night is a mask, because it's basically it's a repetitive action. You're repeating something, even if it's good for you. So even eating salad, for example, every day, making sure I must have salad every day, is a mask, because it's not love, is it? What is it that's making you, compelling you to do the same action every day? Put makeup on, eat same food every day. I don't know. Wash the dishes in the same way. Make sure everything's neat and tidy all the time. Everything must be perfectly clean, and yeah, these are issues. I know they only kind of seem like surface things, but the surface ones are a really good way. The small ones are a really good way to learn the programming that the ego is, to the conditioning that we have, to deal with the bigger ones, the bigger issues like loss and death and illness and tragedy. You know, these things that are in life that we feel like are tests. These things, if you can spend time looking at the smaller masks that you use in your everyday life, I think this is a help, because it does then kind of lead on, it makes it easier then to look at the bigger ones. I mean, I have been looking at the bigger ones as well, but it's like I come up against a brick wall, because a lot of the bigger ones, the idea of maybe being friends with someone, you get close to them, and then they decide that they don't like you for whatever reason. And it's happened to me many, many times. And then they decide, bye, I don't really want to talk to you anymore. And then I always get heartbroken by that. And that's one of the bigger issues for me. And I think it is an issue in the world that people will generally decide to leave when the going gets tough, you know. And how to be okay with that in yourself and in others, to allow that to be there, and to realize that it's not the truth, because the truth of you cannot leave. You can't go anywhere. Where can it go? The truth of who you really are, the root of you, the root that's connected to the ground, like a tree. This is how I feel about it. Our connection to source, where we get all our nourishment, the root that we never ever look at. We just turn away from the root all the time. This is where we come from. This is our origin. This is our source. But we don't look at it. We're constantly looking at the tips, the branches, the buds, and going, oh, that's beautiful. But how does it become beautiful? How does it nourish itself? It nourishes itself by connecting to its source and seeing its source. It doesn't nourish itself by saying, oh, look, there's a dead rotten bud that's just going to drop off, or let's spray this bud and try and make it look better, even though it's brown and crumpling and dying. Let's try and make the outside bit look better, when really what it needs is the nourishing at the roots, the watering and the food, the nourishment that comes from the ground. That's what it needs. It doesn't need makeup. It doesn't need to turn away from loss or arguments, or what it sees as being an attack on itself. It's not an attack. It can't be attacked. The truth of it can't be attacked. The body is not the truth of who I am. And the more that I let source inform my words, my actions, you know, when I have an image pop into my head and I connect with that, and you know, and I try and not try, but I look at what that is, and is it meaningful to me? Does it mean something about my journey, my life path? Does it mean that's what I'm to do today? Or it really felt like this makeup thing, you know. And I went out today and I dropped my daughter off at the local childcare place, and I thought, whether, you know, they're going to notice that I'm not wearing makeup, but it was no different. It was no different. It's like I've never worn makeup. You know, so the main person who's noticing is me. And if you think about it, if everyone's doing that, they're only noticing themselves or feeling insecure about themselves. Imagine what could happen if everyone just looked at these little tiny things that they do every day that are like a mask, pretending I'm happy when I'm not, you know, just so that you don't have to see me cry and deal with that. You know, yeah, I'm going to cry. And if I want to cry every day, I'm going to cry every day. And that actually, that's another reason why I stopped wearing makeup, is because I do mainly cry every day, because I want to allow myself to feel everything that I feel, and to allow yourself everything that you are, everything that you're feeling, you allow it to come to the surface, you allow it to be healed, is one of the greatest gifts of love that you can ever give to yourself, to allow yourself to be the truth of who you are. Really, what else is there? What else is there? There is nothing else. There is no love in the limitations and the masks and the lack that we create constantly by saying to ourselves, oh, I need to repeat this pattern over and over and over again because it's the only thing that will make people love me. I mean, what is that? Why do I think that people are only going to love me if they see me in a certain way? And it's a very great practice to look at these things. And I sincerely hope that just by doing these little bits and pieces, making these little changes, it can bring you closer to your truth, which is God. Thank you.